We are back for the second week of information about our really fun letters to Santa. It is a garden flag, but we turned it into a nifty little pocket to drop your Santa letters in.
Cute.
Now when you want to get them out, you can unzip it and get your letters out down here. So last week was all about how to do the applique on this. And it just turned out so stinking cute. So today we are going to go over all the other details, and that's going to be about this really big buttonhole that we put in.
Oh, wow.
It's going to be about the fun lettering that we did in software, and it's about the ruffle, and it's about the zipper. So it's all the things that made it be a completed project. So without further ado, let's go and meet up with Dee so we can show you how to finish this project now. Okay, so Jan and Dee back with you so that we can go over the other portions of our letters to Santa bag that we told you we were going to address on week 2. So you're looking at the finished product here. The first thing we want to talk to you about is the letters to Santa words, where we went into Floriani software. And we had looked at, you get to scooch just a little, or turn just a little. There we go. I'm going to trade you sides. You get to see the fun that Kaylin and I have where I'm always in her way. So you get where you can get your hands under there. We have all sorts of wonderful fonts on our machine, but it's not a ton of the fonts, and they don't put a bunch of fonts on machines. There's more than there used to be, but the whole reason they don't is because software can do it so much easier. So, Dee, why don't you go ahead and just type out letters to Santa. I want you to lowercase on that.
Oh, that's right. We did lowercase, didn't we? I'm at an awkward position over
I know,
here.
and I'm like halfway in front of your face. I apologize.
That's okay. Okay.
And then you can click on that all fonts. I'm going to go in closer here. You get to look. Can you watch it like that, or do you need to look around me?
I can look around. That's okay.
And you're going to do all fonts, and you can scroll down. Go ahead and click on that, and there's a whole bunch of them. And when you hover, can you just hover over different ones so they can show how it changes until you find what you want.
And you can use your scroll buttons here.
You
Just to
can.
scroll
And
down.
over there on the left-hand side of each font, those symbols are like O for outline, and HW is what handwriting will look. And so you can separate them out up there at the top.
Yes, you can.
If you want a different ones. The other thing is you can also bring true type font files into Floriani. So if you still can't find what you wanted, if you can find a true type font file to import into your computer, it will know how to read that and turn it into a font. So just go and pick one. We don't have to make
We're
it
gonna
be
do
the perfect one.
Fables.
Okay,
Wrong button.
so,
Let me go back up here and click back on that.
oh, we lost it.
I lost it. Let me do it again really quick here.
Letters to Santa.
And I'm going to come back here and I'm going to go back down to Fables. And
Ooh, it scrolls fast.
it scrolls very fast.
And then when you hit apply, right?
Yep. And you got to scroll, get this down here.
Yeah, it's kind of hiding on our
It
small
is,
screen.
and I am not very good with this.
And see how it changed it? And then, so what do you do from here?
Well, from here, what you can do is now you can size it to whatever size that you want.
Okay.
So you can look at it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come up here and I'm going to hit to fit so I can see all of it. And no, I don't want to save it. And I'm going to look at the size. I can look up here and it tells me that it is, what size it is. It's 0.81 inches. That's how tall it is, and 706 inches wide. If I want to change that, lots of ways I can do it. I can click on it, drag it out, or I can come up here and I can change the size. But that happens to be a good size for what we did.
Okay.
So I'm going to leave it. And from that point, all I'm going to do is I'm going to come up, I'm going to hit File, and I'm going to hit Save As. And I can name it whatever I want to name it, and I can go in here. Now, when you're in Floriani, you always save a WAV file first. Once you
Why
do
is
that, That is your editing file.
Because if you want to come back and edit it,
If
kind
you
of
wanna-
like when we're in IQ Designer, if you
Exactly.
didn't save it over there and you
Exactly.
need to edit it, you can't.
Exactly. There's a lot of technical
But
reasons
so
why,
you
but
would save
yeah.
a WAV file, and then you
So
would
you
also
would-
save a.
Then you would save a PES file. So I'm going to do it just to show you. So we
So-
would save that one first, and then I would come back and I would save as, and I would save it as a PES file. PES file is the file that it actually turns into stitches, and that's what we send to our embroidery machines to embroidery. But when it's in a WAV file, it's not technically stitches yet. It's an editing file.
Okay, very good.
Okay, then that's when you can take it and you can either send it wireless to your machine or put it on a
Flash drive.
flash drive and
Okay.
pop it in your machine and embroider it.
All right, so that was how easy it was to go and
Yep.
just use your software to give you more options on what
Yep.
kind of font you want to use.
You got it.
I love it. Okay, so let's move on. We're going to switch seats. I'm going
Okay.
to come back across here. And now the next thing we want to talk about is this this giant buttonhole.
My pocket I made? Okay.
Yes, and
Well,
so let's
originally-
go on to the sewing screen.
Okay. So originally what I was thinking that is I would just use a buttonhole. So I went into the buttonholes and I was thinking, okay, I would find just something like this and just try and use something like that. But what I found is I couldn't make it big enough. But
Right, 'cause that's only gonna be
But
like
actually what I did is
inch and a half
I
at
went into
best.
the embroidery part of it and went into the buttonholes in
So
the
show that.
embroidery.
That's on the sewing
It's
stitches,
on
right?
right here. And I just went into this and I thought, great, that would be fantastic. And I thought, I can make it as big as I want. But I was
Make it as big as it'll
mistaken.
go. And that was it. That was the max, was
Yeah.
4.5 inches.
And I wanted it
this
bigger.
is more like 7 inches.
Probably.
Right.
Yeah.
So
And I
it
wanted it
foiled
bigger.
us, and we were like, well, now what are we going to do?
Yes. So I thought, I'm just going to go into IQ and make my own.
Okay, so let's do
So
it.
I got out of here and I went into my IQ and I went into shapes and I just took
It was just a rectangle.
I just took a rectangle and I went into my size here and I took the width of it and then I think I started with about an 0.5, which was about a half an inch. And oops, size, I didn't hit set. I'm gonna go back here. And then it was at a 0.706. I may not have even changed
we probably
that.
didn't.
And I had told it okay.
And then we wanted it
And-
to be a satin stitch.
And I wanted it to be a satin stitch, and so, which it probably
It
already
already
would,
was, yeah.
already was. It would default.
Yeah, that's kind
that.
of its default.
Yeah, it's just a default on that. And actually, I may have gone a little smaller than that, but for right now,
For now, that's the same concept. So
Yeah.
go ahead and hit next,
so I'm going to hit next.
and it's going to show it to you.
It's going to show me, and so that's pretty much what it's going to
Yeah,
look
and
like.
I think we made it a little closer together
yeah,
than
we did.
that.
I think we probably did.
And we made the buttonhole width a little bit bigger as well.
Yeah,
But that's the whole concept. And then you could save that into memory, because again, this is a working
Mm-hmm. that's
file
right. It's a
over
working
here.
file. I put it in
And then
memory.
we went set, and we saved it over in embroidery.
I saved it
so-
in embroidery.
So that then it was available to us when we were ready to do that
That's
step
right.
of our
That's right.
bag. So that's all we had to do to make a nice giant buttonhole, which was our opening that you see right here on our letters to Santa. It had to be big enough to get
A letter.
a letter in there,
Yeah.
or what's the point?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so the next thing that we were going to talk about, and I'm going to flip this over, is we put a zipper in. And go ahead and unzip that for me.
Okay.
And we did that so that you can get the zippers, I mean, not the zipper, get the letters
out.
out.
Santa can get the letters out.
That's right. I
Yeah.
mean, you probably could have reached through the other hole, but Dee is going to show you how easy it is to do that, because that was just a flat piece of the back side of that garden flag.
Yep.
And we talked about different ways we could do it, and so I'm going to come over on this side, and we are going to show you what we did.
How you put a zipper in when you've only got one piece of fabric.
Okay,
So you
leave it
gotta
laying flat for me.
you gotta have something for that zipper to hang on to.
Right.
So what you do is you take I just cut a piece of fabric about so big.
Because that's like a facing fabric.
It's like a facing fabric, exactly. And I pinned it on, and I do a half an inch. So I measured a half an inch here, made my lines. This is
Half an inch, like wide from top to bottom.
right here.
Okay.
From I placed it here. I decided where I want my zipper to lay.
I knew how long the zipper was.
And I know how long my zipper is, and so I measure. Once I figured, I penciled out my half inch here. Then I center it from where I want my zipper to lay.
Could you lay
and-
the zipper up there so they could see what
Yes.
we're talking about here?
Yes.
there you go. So
from this
go ahead and
point
move
to
your
that
hands out of the
point.
way for me. There you go.
Can you see it
And then
there?
you can see that's from the
Yeah.
brad to the pole.
That's right.
Okay, very good.
And so then I'm going to mark center between my halves. So I basically went up a 1/4 inch. You can see here.
Mm-hmm.
Then what you want to do is you want to take and you want to mark up here. And you'll see why here in a minute. Because what we're going to do is we're going to take some scissors and we're going to cut this line here.
Okay, so go ahead and show us that.
Okay.
Now, are you cutting through both pieces of fabric?
Yes.
Okay.
Because I'm going to flip this. Okay? Because I'm going to have a hole here.
It's true. I guess it wouldn't work if you only had a hole in one of them.
That's
Then you couldn't
right.
get to the zipper.
That's right. And I'm only going to cut up to this point right here. Okay?
Hmm. And then you're going
And then
to
I'm
the
going to
angle
go to
corner.
my angle corner. Go a little bit further.
Now, are you cutting through both layers or just that side?
Both layers.
No, but not onto the bottom side, right?
Oh, you mean like that?
Right.
Yeah, yeah. No. Yeah.
Yeah, the chances that we would have that match is probably not that good.
Yeah, I would have to start over if I was doing that. That wouldn't work too well. Not that I probably haven't done it before because, you know, that's just kind of how I ride.
And then you're just going to cut from this. There
Yep,
we go.
and
That's
then-
what I was trying to get to.
Okay,
is-
yeah. Oh, the way I was
You weren't
holding
trying
it.
to do both of them all in one fell swoop.
No,
Oh,
no,
boy,
no.
you're good. I
Okay.
mean, you are good, but I didn't think you were that good.
And then
That would have been lucky, really.
yes.
Okay, so now show us why you cut it at that funny little angles there.
Because when I flip this inside out, I'm going to have to take these and it's going to do my corners.
So do you
Now,
sew it first?
Yes, I'm going to take, and you could have sewed it before you cut it too.
So
you could
let's
have
go
done
ahead,
that.
go ahead and
Okay.
let's show how we sew this part.
So what we're going to do is we're just going to sew around.
And we're just using a standard straight stitch.
Yes,
with
and
a
I'm going to
J-foot.
use, I've got yellow thread on here so you can
Yeah, we
kind
do that
of
so
see
you can
what,
see it.
yes, so you can see what
Because
we're
seeing
doing. Oh,
black thread on black fabric is darn
Yes.
near impossible. She's having to sew off to the side. I know I make it hard for
It's
you guys.
okay.
It's like I want our guests to see what you're doing.
That's okay. Oh, and I don't have a,
You don't have our foot
I
control
don't have a
with
foot
this.
control, so.
It throws us off.
And I hope I'm sewing straight because I'm sewing from the side.
It's a little crooked, but we're going to be forgiving. How's that?
Okay.
She's not sitting right in front of the machine, folks.
Yeah, I'm setting off to the side, so if I'm sewing crooked, please forgive me.
And then we're going to pivot and do the short end.
I'm a little off there, but
It's
that's
okay.
okay.
We're being very forgiving.
Yes.
We're doing concept, not perfection.
And you really want to do this before you cut it. I kind of got my cart before my horses.
Right, because it makes it so it doesn't
Yes.
swivel around.
Yeah. Yeah, and I went way past that.
It's
too.
okay.
That's okay.
We're getting the concept. Okay, and then let's take it back over here behind you on the other side. Show how you flip the seam.
So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my pins out. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to flip it,
So you're just taking the lining part
just the lining. We're
and
going to
flipping
flip
it
the
to
lining.
the wrong
back.
side of the fabric.
That's right. I'm going to grab it and I'm going to
Now, had you ever made one of these before we talked about doing it this way?
I have definitely done zippers this way, but I've done them in pockets, like in bags.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't have to add another piece of lining because my pocket already had
I see.
the lining.
But it
Yeah.
wasn't hard to just go cut a little strip of fabric.
No,
and
because
put
it
on.
was kind of like having it was kind of like having the lining of a pocket.
And so
then,
we would press this.
yeah, and then you would want to take it over to your iron and press it in,
And then top stitch it.
and then top stitch
Or
it.
is this where you put the zipper
This
in?
actually, you don't. When you when you put your zipper in, that's actually going to top
That is going
stitch
to
it.
top stitch it.
Yeah,
And
it's
we have
actually
it a little too wide for our zipper, I think.
Yeah, I probably so.
So go ahead and pin those a little bit so it'll
Yeah,
stay
I
flat
will.
for you, and then you can show how you put the zipper underneath it. Because we're not gonna get up to the iron right now. We would, but we didn't turn it on, so you'd have to wait a few minutes. Again, we're doing concept here, folks. All right, that's good. Just go ahead and put that zipper under there so that they can see what we're talking about.
Yeah, I didn't quite.
It's a little too wide,
I
but,
didn't sew straight, so sorry.
and she didn't sew
Then
straight.
what I'm going to
So
do.
do it sort of like this, not
sort of
completely.
like this. So if this was as it should be, what you're going to do, you're going to iron all that, and all you're going to have, it should all look nice and pretty and straight. Then what you're going to do is you're going to flip this over, and you're going to take your zipper, and you're going to lay your zipper right here,
Mm-hmm.
okay? You can use zipper tape, you can use pins, you can do whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
You can even use the fabric glue, okay? And you're going to make sure that it's exactly where it needs to be.
But you're gonna sew from the top side,
That's correct.
because if you sew from the underside, you're not gonna see really,
That's right. You're
and we
not
want
gonna
it to
see
look
what you're
pretty
doing.
from the right side.
Oops, and actually that's wrong, because this is one of those.
That's okay.
this
I
is-
think they get the idea, because then you would have stitched that all
Yep.
around. And so now get
Yep.
the, let's go back over here,
So then
because over here,
you can actually see, and you can see here how I went around and I stitched from the top.
Mm-hmm.
I had laid it, I used zipper tape is what I used, so that I had it nice and straight and set everywhere that I wanted it, and then
and you
I
had
just
pins
top,
in your way.
yeah, and I just
Top stitched it all the way around.
around. And
And then can you
you
show
can
it
see-
kind of from the inside?
you can see here where I have my
That's your
lining,
lining, uh-huh.
my facing, or what lining, whatever you would want to call it, here.
Very
and,
good.
and you can trim that down a little bit. I did trim it down because I had a pretty big piece
That's
in there.
excellent.
So,
Okay.
but you can see how,
Yeah.
if you see my marks here.
Yep. Excellent, excellent. Okay. So the next thing we want to talk about is that fun little ruffle. Now, on
Ah.
this one, we actually took, can you just grab that piece of fabric from behind you there? And, well, it's a different color.
That's okay.
This is the folded side right here, and there's your raw edge. She took it over to the applaud, and she did the fun stitching that you see here before you pleated, because trying to do it on something pleated
Oh, you
is,
couldn't do it.
you know, it's, you're just asking for problems.
Yeah.
So do whatever kind of embellishment, if you're gonna add lace or beads or
Whatever you want to do.
whatever.
Do that
Do
first.
that while it's flat on this folded edge. And then, let's go ahead and put the
Ruffling foot on.
ruffling foot on. And if you haven't used a ruffling foot, you're really missing out, because a ruffling foot is an excellent tool. It's kind of a misnomer. I think we've talked about it before when we've shown the ruffling foot. It's really a pleater.
It's a pleater.
And like you
Yeah,
can
it doesn't
see
gather,
here,
it pleats.
this is making little pleats along the way, and it does it in a very even increment. Let me see the foot real quick here. Oops. Turn it around. That's upside down,
Which way you want it?
this way.
You want it this way.
Yeah, because these numbers that you see right here, 12, 6, 1, that's for every stitch, it's going to make a pleat. So for every one stitch, it's going to pleat. On something that's double thickness, I would never do it on one, because it would be too hard. 6 is still a little bit close. I think you did this on 12, right? Or did you do it on 6?
I think I did it on 6.
Okay. It's going to make further apartments, so we're going to do it on 6, and then I can't remember what the star is. I'll have to look that one up.
Yeah.
But anyway, this looks like kind of a mousetrap contraption, and show how it goes on the machine.
Let me see if I can remember.
She's like,
It's been a few days.
So this part has to go, this part right here has to go over the needle bar.
Mm-hmm. That's right, it goes
Because
over the
that's
needle
what
bar.
makes it know how many stitches are going, so we can make the pleat. And this part, I'm trying to show you here.
Let me get this out and look at it real quick. It's been, I don't use it frequently enough that I don't kind of have to look at it every time.
It goes this direction. This part right here is where it snaps onto the machine. This part goes over the needle bar, and then the needle, of course, is going to come down like right in here, and this part right here, that long silver piece, is
Yeah.
what takes it, and when it does its amount of stitching, it goes
You're gonna
chunk,
see it,
and it
yeah.
pleats the fabric.
We're going to see it pleated. Okay, so what we're going to do here I'm gonna have to get down here on top of it so I can see, make sure I've got that on the needle bar.
Yep, that goes on the needle bar, and
And then
then
it's
it
gonna
just
snap
snaps
on
onto
right
the
here.
foot.
There
There we go. And then I always advise, take your needle with the hand wheel and slowly turn it down to make sure.
And I can tell by looking at that, it's not
going to hit that.
going to hit it. So we're gonna have to make some adjustments.
Okay.
So we're going to move we're gonna move the needle. We're not
So you
gonna
say
do
it's
the
not going to
adjustments.
hit it, like it wasn't going to hit the
No,
hole?
It's not going to hit the hole.
Okay.
So what we're gonna do is we're going to shift it over.
The needle,
Yep, we're gonna shift the needle over. Gone the wrong way.
because if you just start sewing, I can almost guarantee you're going to break your needle,
Yeah.
because you need to make sure that it's lined up.
There, it's right in the middle now.
Go ahead, there, go all the way down. Yeah,
Okay,
very good.
let's bring that
Because
back
if
up.
the metal was in the way
Make sure
and you
that's
hit it,
tightened up.
I promise you the needle does not win the fight.
No, it does not. You'll be putting a new needle on.
Uh-huh. Okay, so let's do it. And this is a great foot because you can pleat and add a pleated ruffle to a flat piece of fabric, or you can just ruffle the piece of fabric. So if you,
So-
depending on which one you want
It's
pleated.
going right here in between this right here.
Okay, move your hand over just a little bit.
Let me get my-
It's like, I want you to do this, but get your hands out of the
Yeah.
way.
I'm not magic, Jan.
It's okay, you're doing fine.
Okay. I think it's in there enough it's gonna catch. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna try and stay
And
this
she is
way
off to
on
the
it.
side a little bit, so we're gonna hope that we get this through here.
And I'm not using
And
a
do it
pedal.
on slow. I really recommend slow. And it's counting its stitches, and then if you watch in just a second,
Let's speed it up just a little.
actually, you don't have it under the little
Oh, is it
arm.
not? I can't see. Okay, let me stop it. Am I not under the yarn?
No, you're on top of it. So
Okay.
go ahead and hit cut. And this is a good learning tool, because we don't always get it right either, and I was in her way.
Okay, let me get over here on top
Okay,
of
so
it
it
again and
has
see
to
what I'm
go,
doing.
can you point to the part, it has to go underneath here. It has to go under this.
Okay, I'm gonna have to get in front of you here.
Yep.
I didn't have it under? Okay. No, I didn't.
It was
did I?
on top
was
of
on
it,
top
so
of
it was just gonna sew a straight line.
Yeah,
Which
okay,
is
there we
fine,
go.
but
I
it's
think I'm
not,
under it.
not
Let
what
me-
we're trying to
Let me
do.
get on top of it here so I can see what I'm doing. Okay, there we go. I'm under it now.
Okay, and I'm gonna, because see, that then will take and
There we go.
poke the fabric.
Okay.
Now let's do it. That's okay, this is how we learn, right? Okay, it's moving, but it's not pleating.
Are we going too slow?
Go ahead and pitch stop.
Okay, well, do I not have it under the pleat?
So I did a momentary pause because we wanted to test it. We decided it was going too slow. Because as soon as we sped it up, it started doing it. And we're on not quite a medium speed, but see how it does stitch, 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 pleat, stitch, 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 pleat.
And this is on the 6.
And I think that's a perfect one
Yeah.
for it. And we're doing the two raw edges are over here on the right-hand side, and the pleat, the fold part is over here on
right.
the right. So let's go ahead and stop. I think we got the concept here. And go ahead and cut it and pull that out so we can show them how beautiful it does those pleats. I mean, how fun is that, right? Isn't it pretty? And I like just like the good evenness of it. So then the next thing after you did that was, this is on here, this is an opened up piece.
Right, because
And
it's a flag.
So did you pin it, or did you use like seam tape? How did you put it in there?
Well, you know me. I took it, I pinned it, okay?
Okay.
I took it and
And
I...
you didn't like do it wrong side out and flip it around. You just did
Oh,
this.
no, no, no,
yeah.
no, no, no. I took my pleat, I opened it up, first thing I took my ends, of course, I took them and I kind of folded them in, so my ends would
Do
be...
it down there on the table. I can't see it.
Would be kind of pretty. And I opened it up and I laid them in where my seams were barely in. And I took my pins and I pinned quite a few pins because I wanted them to be in there really nice.
Like onto the back side of it, to the back side of the.
Yes.
Because this would have been open.
Yes,
This
yes.
would have been open, and it would have
Yes.
been on the back side.
Yes, that's correct.
And then you would have flipped the top piece down.
yes.
And
And I mean, I did it all the way around. I had it completely ready to go. I didn't,
And
once
then
I had it
let's show
nice.
what foot is great to use for
Oh,
this.
yes,
because
absolutely.
This is kind of a little bit thicker
Well,
canvasy
if you look
thing.
at this, we had these 2 layers.
Yeah, so that you're going
Along
through
with
1,
these
2, 3,
pleated-
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, almost 10 layers in some
Yes,
points.
yes, because you've got 4 right here, and
That's
when it's
6.
pleated, there
It's
could be 6.
And then
yes.
there was already 4 on the seams. So that's where, you don't have to necessarily put it on, just grab that other foot. This is
This is our-
set it on the bed of the machine. This is the digital dual feed foot, and it plugs into the back of the machine. And can you turn it so that I can see the side there you go. When you have the belt in the down position, it helps pull all those thicknesses along so that you're not getting that shove, because we needed that to come to this corner and match up on the flip side. And the way we do that is by using a foot that comes with a lot of the machines now, which is that digital dual feed foot. And you also have the great marks on here to be able to know how to guide exactly where it's going to go. So that with all these fun tools we have between the digital dual feed foot, the ruffling foot, some of the tools we use to put our zipper in, showing you Floriani, there's so many things that all pull together and create something that was just a basic little garden flag that we just thought we don't want another garden flag. We wanted something unique and different. And this is one of those things that you could personalize this so many
Oh,
ways.
absolutely,
You know, it could be
yeah.
letters to Santa from, you know,
the
the grandkids' names on it.
Yeah.
Or, you know, this says something like, you know, Santa, I've been good, whatever you want it to be. And it can be an heirloom that lasts through time. I mean, I know at my house, we still have this fun little, it's a cardboard box Santa thing that you kind of put the cardboard pieces together like a puzzle. And it's what we still put our Christmas cards in every year. And that's been living at my house since, well, gosh, the early 70s.
Oh, my.
And this, to me, is just another fun thing that you could make, and it could be that thing that it's part of your new family traditions to have a fun letters to Santa bag. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much, Dee, for coming up with this wonderful idea, and we really
Absolutely.
appreciate you so much.
You are very
All right.
welcome.
See you next time.
Bye.
Hi, Dee.
Hello.
So it's Dee and Jan coming to you from the Oklahoma City store for New It Too, and we wanted to show you something that we did as a challenge to all of the team members here in Oklahoma City, and we talked about it at our club recently, and we thought it would be a fun thing to share with everybody and make a challenge for you all. Sometimes we get caught up in doing the same old thing over and over and over, and I gave a challenge to all of the team members in Oklahoma City to take a napkin and do something on it that was a fun, decorative Christmas idea, but I wanted them to do it on a machine that they weren't comfortable with or with a technique they'd never tried before because it pushed them outside of their boundaries. So come on up here and let me kind of show you some of the things we did. And I just gave them some free rein to pick out doing something. And one of our girls, Natasha, decided to do IQ Designer. She had not done that before. And she found some shapes that she brought into IQ Designer and then learned how to do the different types of fills and satin stitches and all of that, and then went and stitched it out. Turned out really
She did a
darling.
great job.
And then right over here to this one is yours, Dee.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, Dee did this one on the Sashiko.
Yes.
And she's gotten very creative with Sashiko. She took all of this yarn and figured out how to loop it, but then all the stitches are on the Sashiko so that she would whip the thread like
Yeah.
a small loop here, a big loop here, a small loop, right?
Yes.
And you just kept going and going and going until you got it all filled in. I think we glued the
Yes. Yes. I
we
did.
cheated and glued those
cheated.
on
I
it.
glued
But she
the
also
guys
did
on.
the stitching around the packages and fussy cut some fabric.
Yeah.
But darling little tree. on the Sashiko, no
Yes.
less.
Uh-huh.
Lovely job. And then Sarah has recently decided to try her hand at digitizing, and she drew this picture, and then she went into Floriani and she digitized it, and she did a little
did.
sewing machine, and we're at the fireplace, and she put stockings
Yes,
up there.
and look at the
And she
names.
put all her names from everybody that works here
Very
on the
creative.
stockings. Isn't that
She
fun?
did a great job.
Great job. And then Brenda, she took her own little fun take on this, and she made a little gnome tea towel out of hers.
Love that.
And just stitched that on there and added the fun little pom-pom to
She
it.
made that pom-pom out of stretch thread.
Did she really?
She did.
I did not know that.
She used our stretch thread and made a pom-pom.
See, that's what you do. It's like, I don't need to go buy a whole bag of pom-poms. I
No.
just needed one. I did not know that. Well, that's unique.
Yes.
This one right here, Lori made this one, and she actually found this mouse is on the Solaris
Yes,
Vision,
she did.
and it actually is a whole mouse, and she just did. She stopped the machine from stitching the rest of the
Yes,
mouse. She just did the head part of it, and then she cut out this from AccuQuilt. And she did multiple layers of it, and she chenilled it. It really is just striped fabric. I don't know if you can see that. It's just striped fabric.
Yep.
But what's fun about it is when she cut it with the chenille cutter and roughed it up, doesn't it look like houndstooth?
It
It's so
does.
much fun. Darling little thing, and then just top stitch that fun gold trim on there. Ashley had not tried much on the applaud, so she decided to use the applaud, and she wove ribbon into those stitches. So it doesn't have to be always on a sewing machine or an embroidery machine. Your serging type tools are also a great way to make something unique. And then I had done this one myself, where I took the AccuQuilt truck die and did that on the embroidery machine, and that, of course, those stitch files are part of what's available on the
To
AccuQuilt website that you can download. I just did the satin stitch one. And then I went to our straight stitch machine, the Accomplish 2, and I did thread painting with free motion. And I
Very
just put
nice.
some embroidery thread on it and just did fun thread painting and put the Christmas tree in there. I was going to do it with couching, and I could not figure out to get it to look the way I wanted to. And I was like, well, I'll just go to a different machine. And I did thread painting.
I love that thread.
So the whole concept here is you can be as creative as you want to. You have all these opportunities of ideas. Sometimes it's a matter of, well, what do I have available? Maybe I had a little bit of yarn and bells. Maybe all I've got available is embroidery thread, or maybe I'm just working with the serger. Whatever it is, be creative. We challenge you all to come up with a way to make something new and unique. As a matter of fact, I would love it if you all would make something fun and new and post those pictures onto our Facebook page to say, hey, I love the idea of being creative and wanted to make something unique, and I want to show you what I came up with. So we're going to challenge all of you. It doesn't have to be a tea towel or a napkin. It can be whatever you want it to be, but show us what fun you can create out of the things that you have available at your fingertips.
That sounds so fun.
All right, thank you.
Okay, so I know I had a lot of fun talking with Dee and learning how to make this wonderful project. Get you some garden flags. We've given you all the inspiration and fun and lessons over the last 2 weeks to know how to make the applique and how to finish this whole thing out, and complete with how to make the ruffle, how to use the applaud to do the wonderful stitching that comes along on the side of it, and be able to finish this project just in time for you to drop those letters into Santa, because it's not too late to get Christmas shopping done. I don't know about you guys, but we had a lot of fun on Black Friday here at the store. Lots of people came in and got some really great stocking stuffers. We still have them available in the store. We also have machines on really great prices, and that might be a wonderful thing to have under your beautiful Christmas tree.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk to you about a couple of other things.
Okay.
One of them is that we had been waiting. We were told they would get here in November, and sure enough, they did. These are the pieces that go onto the toe of the applaud, and it is the cording and
Taping, yeah.
taping inserts, and over here on this side, it is the 3 different stitch in the ditch inserts because there's 3 different needle positions.
Oh.
And so those are now available in stock in the store. And I know we've been very impatiently waiting for those to show up. And
Yeah.
they are now here. So
Perfect.
that's really fun. And then we did talk about this wonderful, fun ruffling foot. And I know we've shown it before, but sometimes showing it just in theory is very different from showing it on a practical use.
Yeah.
And I've said it before and I'll say it again, the ruffling foot really hasn't changed over the decades. If you go back and look in old women's magazines from like turn of the century, last turn of the century,
Yeah.
like in the 1900s, that's when the ruffling foot came out. And the way it attaches to the machine is different because we have the snap-on feet instead of having to screw it onto the shank. But the way it functions, I mean, if it's not broke, don't fix it, right?
Yep.
And it's a wonderful foot to be able to do beautiful pleating like what you see here. It's a misnomer, I think, to call it ruffling. It's truly
Pleating.
a
Yeah.
ruffled pleat
Mm-hmm.
rather than gathering. So this is going to be on special.
Ooh.
And we're going to have this be 25% off. It's
Nice.
$55. That'll make it like $41 and change.
Yeah.
So if this was ever a time that you decided, I really think I need a good ruffling foot,
Heck yeah.
yes. And if you need to know how to use it, we would be happy to teach you how to use it at any one of our stores. As you know, we have stores in 6 locations. We have Oklahoma City, Tulsa, Muskogee, Fayetteville, Springfield, and Humble. You can also shop online. There are some deals that are online only deals, and that's a really great way to get some really fun stuff as well. So what a great time to get a new ruffling foot.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we should have a giveaway
We should.
because we love giveaways. Who doesn't want something for free?
I mean, I always do.
Okay, so this week, and I'm sitting here at my lovely Advent calendar tower. It was like 3 times the, no, maybe
Twice the height at
at
least.
least twice the height, and boy, people were buying these things like hotcakes.
Mhm.
Well, we decided we want to give one away, and it is a fun little way to do a countdown to Christmas. This is made by Hemline, and when you open it up, there's little boxes inside here, and I'm just going to take out one of the boxes.
Maybe they're in there real good.
Yeah, so take out my, and there's a little scene behind it as well.
That's cute.
And then you get to open up each box. Do I dare show you what's in it? I'll go ahead and show you one of the fun things that's in it. It's all about sewing. And look, it's got a tomato pin cushion in there.
Oh, sweet.
And every box, as you count down to Christmas, has a fun little gift that is sewing related. And one lucky winner is going to get to go home with an Advent calendar.
Nice.
So how do we do that?
Oh, we have to like.
Like,
Share and comment. Mhm.
And one lucky winner is going to win one. And if you want to buy one of these at the store, they're on a screaming great price. Great stocking stuffer, a great gift for your sewing friends, your quilt guild friends, for your children that like to sew. Fun little gift.
Absolutely.
So thank you for joining us. We hope you really enjoyed the letters to Santa. And remember to like, share, or comment by 5 p.m. on Thursday. Come to the store and get you a foot at a really great discount.
Or a bunch of little feet.
Or, yeah, and I don't have these on sale necessarily right now, but I want you to know that they are now available in the store for the new Applaud. And if you are excited about what the Applaud can do, we'd love to sit down and show you that as well.
Awesome.
So thank you for joining us, and we will see you again next week at Be Sew In's New at 2. Bye.
See you then.